You're watching Washington on CBS 10 WILM. Here's your host, Don Ansell.
And we're back. Our guests for this first 100 days show is Alex Dale. He's the chair of the New Hanover County Republican Party. Sandra Sheridan is a member of the executive committee of the New Hanover County Democratic Party. Just before the break, we were talking about the change in direction and what the election really meant. Alex, you said you wanted to
Sure, I'd like to
give some more input into that.
Yeah, there was a comment made about the inclusiveness of the Republican Party. The Republican Party is very inclusive, and in fact was founded on principles of inclusion. It was founded to oppose slavery, and it was founded in a way to of a mixed race party, which was really a new idea in American politics back when it was founded.
Then why have the African Americans abandoned the Republican Party?
I think it's, and first of all, I would say they've not abandoned the Republican Party. I think
certainly they don't make up a large constituency
right,
of the party.
And I would agree with that. I think it's because of our inability to convey our message in a way that is persuasive to the African American community. Because I think our message is strong and can resonate with that community, but I don't think we've done a good job of expressing ourselves in the way that we want to, as to why our principles and values are best for that community.
Did the president's campaign rhetoric pretty much match what he's doing? I mean, are there any surprises?
No, I don't think there are surprises. And again, I would say if there are surprises, there are probably some surprises within the Democratic Party, because as we talk about the Democratic Party, we like to believe that every Democrat is a liberal. But the Democratic Party, as Alex says about the Republican Party, is made of many factions of Democrats, and there are moderate and conservative Democrats as well. And as you all know, just as we are trying to pass the stimulus, we're trying to pass the stimulus bill and other pieces of legislation in this 100 days, there were Democrats who did not support some of President Barack Obama's bills and legislation. That suggests to me that there are surprises, but I think, again, a strong leader does what a strong leader feels is necessary to bring the country back together. And whether we like to agree with the ideology or not, this country was in dire straits as a result of the past 8 years of the Bush administration, and desperate measures sometimes are required to take care of bringing people into a different state. And a lot of the things that are being done, as the president stated in his news conference, aren't because he has this burning desire to go out and control everything, but the basic is he has a major responsibility to put this country back on a sound economic basis.
Alex, do you think he's deviated from his campaign rhetoric? Are there surprises, or has he pretty much followed what he said he was going to do?
Well, I think first of all, let me respond to the point about the economic situation we're in being from the past 8 years of the Bush administration. I think even the president would acknowledge that's not truly the fault of the prior administration. Time magazine even listed 25 people. They included Bill Clinton and George Bush in the list of people responsible for where we are. So I don't think anyone, and I don't think the president would even blame the prior administration for our economic situation today.
But we did not have a deficit when Bill Clinton left the White House, however. And we did inherit a deficit in the 2008 election.
Right.
Well, let's talk about spending. A lot's been made by the Republicans about spending policies during these economic times. And these times are now considered the worst since the Depression. What remedies would the Republicans have preferred
to handle the economic situation?
Right. Well, they've been, the Republicans have talked about too much spending.
Correct. I think, first of all, throwing good money after bad is not a solution to an economic problem, and that's one of the primary messages that I think is being conveyed. And I don't know if you heard this after the president's address on Wednesday night, but the Republican Party is going to be holding its own town hall meetings to explain how it believes its position on spending would be better for our country. And I hope people will listen to that message, because I think that message, the people who are going to be conveying it can convey it in a way that will be persuasive to people.
But massive spending was undertaken by the previous administration when they were
You're talking about the TARP money at the end of
Yes.
the administration.
Well, spending was pretty free in the Bush administration.
Right, and I think that's why some Republicans had some frustration with the Bush administration, because they deviated from the principles of fiscal conservatism that many Republicans hold very near and dear.
And that amplifies the point that I was making about the economic situation being a result of the past 8 years, because even Republicans, as you will admit to the fact that there was too much free spending
Right,
in
but-
the past 8 years as well. And it had to be reeled in. And when we talk about the TARP money and the stimulus money, basically what we're doing now is a continuation of the last part of the Bush administration.
And I would actually say it's far beyond a continuation of what's happening. I've heard that we're spending close to $1 billion in the past 75 a day in the past 75 days. That is a huge difference, and I'm concerned it's going to take us down the step that Japan took in the 1990s, what they call the lost decade, where they dumped money into a severe economic situation, and it didn't fix the problem. And we're going to end up with our children and grandchildren having to repair the problem that we're creating now. And I think it's far beyond what the Bush administration ever did.
But would you not say that's more ideology than economics? Because Ben Stein, who avidly supports the Republicans, would say that it's too much spending. Paul Krugman, another famous economist, would also say that it's not enough spending.
Right.
So how do you balance those sides if you are looking at true economics versus looking at party beliefs?
Well, I think there are about 200 economists who did an ad, and you can find this ad at the Cato Institute from Duke University, Virginia, a number of universities. Like, I can't even list them all, but it talked about this policy of putting good money after bad with a stimulus bill is not a solution to our economic problem. And I would encourage folks to go look at that.
But
at
I would
that
say to
advertisement.
that, Alex, that's economists like statistics. You can find statistics to match any
Right.
idea
But
that you want to
the
support.
difference is the president is claiming that any economist would agree that we need to do this, and he made that statement. And this ad was in direct response to that.
All right, we're going to take a short break. We'll come back with our guests. When we come back, we'll talk about Arlen Specter. Stay with us.